for the first time.
Oh, really?
Big deal. It's just nice that it's just.
Say 3 words at a time, no more.
Well, hang on a minute.
Maybe 2 words at a time.
There we go.
Let me make sure we're on.
I get confused.
That's a good rule, yeah.
Really, don't string off things long because expect you to repeat it.
We're good?
We are good.
Denny Bennett, raise your right hand. I, Denny Bennett,
I, Denny Bennett, 3 words,
solemnly swear
solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the Constitution of the State of Washington,
and will obey the laws thereof, that I will, in all respects,
in all respects,
uphold and enforce the provisions of the Charter
provisions of the Charter
and the ordinances of Bellbrook,
and the ordinances of Bellbrook,
and will faithfully discharge
and will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
upon which I'm about to enter. Congratulations.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you for your service. This is for a term starting 2/17/2022 through 1/31/2027. And this is Denny's second appointed
Will I
term.
be alive then?
Congratulations.
You sure will.
Here, Denny, sign
Congrats.
this at your desk and
Are you
then,
gonna sign that?
yeah. And then Rob will make a copy of it and give it back to you and then we'll post it all.
Denny Bennett?
Thank you very much.
Is that yours?
I just stole it from over there.
Is this an extra one?
You can have it. Sure
Well, I
is.
don't wanna have it, I'll get one. I forgot, no, I have a pen. In my pocket.
We'll have your attention for a second. I just want to thank you on behalf of council for what you guys do. The planning board is incredibly important to the city, and I know you get in front of some real sticky wickets out of your own volunteer board, but we appreciate what you do, what you give to the city, and your commitment to Bellbrook, so thanks again. This Article 14, like I said, when it first came out, was a real challenge to get it passed. A lot of people saw it as a detriment versus a benefit, and I think it's truly a benefit because it basically regulates what you can and can't do in a property in a very broad fashion in the downtown area. So enjoy it, have fun, and again, thanks for what you do on behalf of myself and behalf of council, appreciate it.
Thanks, Mike.
Denny, enjoy your next 5 years.
Thank you.
Alrighty.
All right, on that note, we'll go ahead and call to order the planning board meeting for Thursday, February 17th. Roll call.
Mr. Bennett,
Here.
Mr. Stengel,
Here.
Mr. Thompson,
Here.
and Mr. Tuttle.
And Rob, you're saying no motion for minutes, but if there's any questions or anything like that.
Right, if there are no questions or comments otherwise, and I corrected the spelling of your name throughout.
Thank you.
Yes.
It's Saint Angel.
Yes.
Any other comments?
I would have to say it anyway,
All right.
so I wasn't here.
Well, they're approved.
Yeah, if there are no others, then you can
comments.
declare them approved.
They're approved. Yep, the minutes of January 17th are approved. So no old business on the agenda tonight, and just looking at new business of the Planning Board 2202 Article 14 Zoning Code Update.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. If it's okay with you, I will just go through the changes page by page, and then if there are any questions or concerns, we can go over them afterwards. If that's okay with you, sir?
Absolutely.
Thank you. All right, we didn't make very many changes. Actually, they're very subtle in what we did make. So there was nothing on the first page. If you flip to what would be page number 5, which is the second page in your packet, 14.06 Non-Conforming Buildings. The way that code read, a non-conforming use would have to be discontinued for 2 or more years to now become conforming, or for us to make it become conforming. I struck for 2 or more years. Now, if a non-conforming use exists and it becomes vacated, it would have to become conforming immediately. Section 1411, standards. The first strike, perimeters, actually was just a spelling error. That should be parameters. And then in section 1 of that same 1411, I added the word village to Bellbrook Village architecture. So it was clear that this was for the village only and not for the entire city. On page 7, 14.14, application for village district permits, just struck zoning inspector and added my title, community development administrator. Section 2 on page 8, for what was required to be submitted, struck what was there and added 7 sets of scale drawings of all affected exterior elevations, accompanied by a written description setting forth the scope of work to be done, materials to be used, color renderings of the modifications, and an appropriate presentation of such details. The reason I added the 7 sets, we will have 5 members of the VRB board for that, 1 for my use and 1 for the official record. In the next paragraph, I struck out the presentation to be on 18 by 24 paper. Typically, most plans, if they're done by an architect or an engineer, are normally going to be on 24 by 36. If they're submitted on 11 by 17, we would accept that as well. But having that size limitation there, I didn't feel was necessary. 1415, 2 changes there in the first 2 paragraphs. Change from zoning inspector to my title, community development administrator. 2A, changed or proposed change to the hearing shall be held at the next available regularly scheduled meeting following the delivery of the application. That did say 15 days. 15 days may not be enough time from the application submittal to the next meeting date, and in order to not have to call a special meeting of the board, added that language. On page 10, under signs, that strike is to allow any sign that was compliant or is compliant with the zoning code not to have to go to VRB. It would have been exempt from a meeting, but we still would have had to have all of the members of VRB sign off on it. This strike would be, or would allow the administrators to make that decision. If it's compliant, then it will be approved. If it's not compliant, as they would want more signage than would be allowed, size, number of signs, so forth, then they would have to apply to the VRB. And I believe that is it. I did make one correction on page 13 under guidelines, 4.1 demolition. In the last sentence of 4.1, the correct use of insuring was added there. And then in 4.3 was the correct tense of advise. And I believe that is it. It is. And with that all being said, I will be happy to answer any questions. I will let you know that the VRB did recommend the changes as proposed to the planning board.
Any comments or questions, gentlemen?
I do not. I would like to make a proposal that we accept the Planning Board 2202 Article 14 zoning code update.
Second.
Motion to approve the amended Article 14, or the amendments to Article 14, the Bellbrook zoning code. Mr. Bennett?
Yes.
Mr. Spangle?
Yes.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Open discussion?
We need a new planning board member. Are we in the works with that?
We are.
Okay. Any idea when we'll have this person on board?
As soon as interviews are confirmed and scheduled, there's been some scheduling issues with the applicants. They were scheduled and there was a need to change a couple, and availability changed for one of the others, so we're in the process of still trying to get that locked down.
How many applicants did you have?
There were 3.
Okay.
Tell him who they were. One of them's Dr. Dave.
Yeah, he wants to come back.
He does, but I'm thinking, I mean, I love Dr. Dave, don't get me wrong, but if he's gonna be in, New Mexico a lot,
Yeah, the Community Affairs Committee is the one handling the review, and we'll make a recommendation to council for
Right.
for their appointment. So
Right.
we're hoping to have that done prior to the next council meeting on the 28th of February. We'd like to have that done. That is certainly the goal. So we've reached out a couple times. One more attempt for scheduling, and if not, we'll notify the committee to see if they want to go ahead and move on, if not all of the candidates can attend or not.
my wife and I took a walk yesterday,
Yeah?
all around Bellbrook, which was, what, 63 degrees, something like crazy like that. And we were gone all afternoon. Probably walked 6-7 miles in the neighborhoods of Bellbrook, just because we have never really done that.
Mhm.
And we were wanting to get out of the house. Anyway, we were struck by the fact that probably 70% of the people leave their trash cans out front of the garage. And, Carol and I, we put our trash cans inside our garage. We don't want them visible from the street. But a lot of people just leave them out there on, beside their garage door and in front of, God and everybody, I guess. Is there anything in the zoning ordinances that would say, hey, let's put our trash cans out of sight or anything like that?
What a perfect segue. So, to answer that question, I'm going to get there. That particular portion, or that code, trash cans, trash in general, is covered in the municipal code. At your next meeting, and I mentioned this at our last meeting, at our next meeting, you will see a completely updated zoning code for proposals for your consideration. And following, hopefully, April, you will see some amendments to the municipal code. That is certainly something that I can add in for your consideration in the municipal code, the placement of trash cans when they're not at the curb, along with some other changes. But if you would like to see that, I can certainly make that addition.
We were just, that just makes Bellbrook look kind of trashy, I suppose. And we were like shocked, not that we live in a great neighborhood, but we live in a nice neighborhood. And I don't know if anybody leaves their trash cans out in view.
Yes, that is certainly something I can add into the code for
Fabulous.
your consideration.
Oh, thank you so much. Jason, you're the best. You and Rob.
We try.
Is there all, and I don't want to get nitty gritty here, but is there also a timeline where the trash cans need to be removed from the curb?
Yes.
24 hours.
24 hours.
24 hours, that's already there.
I thought, okay.
24 hours.
Enforcement just becomes a hassle then. Okay.
Rob, this is just a heads up. If we have our next planning board meeting on March 17th, which is the third Thursday of March, I may not be able to attend. I'm having some eye surgery that day.
Oh, no,
I'm
it's eye
hoping
surgery.
that I can get it done and be here, but if not, I'm not going to be able to be here.
Okay.
And I probably won't be here either.
Is it St. Patrick's Day?
It is St. Patrick's
We're gonna
Day.
be in Florida.
Okay.
For St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah. They got more green beer down there, I guess.
I would find that hard to believe.
Well, we can, if we know that there's going to be two absence, that would still leave three, which would be a quorum.
Quorum, right.
If we have somebody appointed by then, and I'm certainly hoping that we do. So, if we get there and we realize that, I've noted it, if we need to reschedule, we'll do that if we're aware we may not have a quorum. Because we will have a meeting, because there's going to be additional sections of the code.
Yep.
So,
Jason, do you have a card by any chance?
I do. I will be happy to get you one of those.
Lovely.
I'll take one too.
Anything else for open discussion?
Not for me.
Nope.
All right. And you said again, no motion for adjournment, just nothing else? It's
the chair can inquire if he's hearing any additional business to come forward before the board, and if you hear none, then you can declare the meeting adjourned.
I hear none.
Why don't you ask our audience?
Oh, yeah. Would you like to bring some?
Nope.
Nope. Just taking this time for out of the house, huh?
She's just absorbing.
Yep. All right. Well, that concludes the meeting tonight. Change up on the flow.